Hi, my name is Nubia Rëzo and Nubia Rëzo on my Instagram. Today we're going to do a Rëzo cut, and I just wanted to know, are we ready? Let's start it today. So now let's work in a different texture right now through the Rëzo cut, different techniques. We have our beautiful Alondra, beautiful name, Alondra. She has a complete different texture. She has more of a curly hair, not so much of a tight texture. So Alondra, thank you so much for coming. What would you like to see when it comes to shape today?
More volume.
You like more volume. How about the length?
I'm okay with cutting a little bit shorter.
But not too short, because we already know our curly clients don't like to cut too much. But so let's try to keep as much length possible. Would it be okay if we just do a little bit more of face framing, preserving a lot of the length, but definitely creating more volume at the top?
Yes.
Would that sound like a plan? All right, so let's get started. So now let's start again. For every texture that we are always going to cut in texture hair cutting, always are going to be 3 sections. So it doesn't matter if the texture is loose or tight, always 3 sections, always in the middle, coming to the apex, creating the U. So we're going to do section 1, one side. The hair should always be prepared where you come in. You make sure your client gets this incredible, sometimes communication that they forget. Clean hair, detangle, and free of products. And it must be dry because the entire haircut is done on a dry technique. We're going to make sure that you guys always follow the U. And of course, as getting ready for this incredible haircut, we must remember that tools are major when we are cutting. And my always tool to go is the art scissors, the curve. Why? Perfect blade and perfect to create circles, C's, and the pinch in the Rëzo technique. The only difference that I'm going to make sure I'm working with Alondra is preserving her length. I know she wants that the most, but also have the hair prepared. Use our Rëzo shampoo. It's a very gentle clarifying shampoo, and it's going to help me to remove some of the buildup on that hard water sometimes that we have in different parts, cities, states that we live. So as we're preparing the hair, let's begin the haircut. The difference in here, I'm going to start with a very low section first, my first section. Make sure that it's nice and clean. Right here. We're going to identify in here where is that this section is shorter and where this section is longer. You guys could see it's right here. I'm going to create, instead of the circle or my C's like this, I'm going to do the C this way. So I'm going to start from the longest in here, creating a C shape. At 90 degrees, a little bit at the end. Making sure it's a nice clean section to create my first guideline in here. If you guys notice, I'm leaving still some of the short section shorter. Why? Because I'm allowed to creating part of the 3 fundamentals of Rëzo. This is what Rëzo is about: body, balance, and shape. So what I'm doing in here is creating a balance where she's so much shorter in here, and Alondra was very specific. Keep as much of my length. So I'm allowing this section right here to grow for the next possible 2 to 3 months, so she will become very even when I see her in her next haircut. That's a little tip up there for you guys. So don't ever go as short as the last piece that we were to add. So I went from the longest into the C and left a little space right there. I'm going to take my next section, horizontal sections, nice and neat. And again, I'm going to be following in a very natural stage the way they grow. No tension. I'm going to start from the longest to the shortest right here. Making sure if you need to remove one, it will be at a 90 degree. Nice and clean. Right here. Because of her texture, she has some bleach damage in the sense, you know, some of her curls got compromised, got a little bit looser. I also going to use the pinch technique. The pinch technique is a great technique that I use and that I had created for very loose textures for more control. So I'm going to take my section, come to the very, very end, and I will be able to remove more of those pieces that they are more relaxed from the bleach or simple, you know, she had a different texture in her hair to make sure I'm making a perfect hairline. I'm going to continue creating another horizontal section. Just one tip for all of you guys. The less of the density, the more sections you want to create. Meaning it doesn't have nothing to do with the texture. If the client doesn't have a lot of hair, I need you to work details. So meaning go more sections. If that person has incredible density, you could literally make it like, I always said, 2 to 3 sections are perfect for that. If you notice, I'm opening the curls very gentle. I don't want to disturb them too much. I want to work as natural possible, the way they fall on her. I always like to say that it's almost like a little kitty cat. Touch it very gentle. Don't go deep into the fingers because now you're disrupting the curls. Now I could see, I could start working into the C again. And I'm going into the C like this. If you like what you see, you could continue going up. I would say because she has a lot of different textures, dye, medium, and some of them that it became looser because of the bleach. I will encourage you guys to take, again, the same section and let's work with the pinch technique to make sure my section is super clean and I'm able to remove a lot of the heat damage in here to make sure the perimeter, the hairline is perfect. I'm going to continue going up right here. As I'm going up, always observe. When you cut in texture hair, it's so important to always check every section because you know what? The section that maybe you had cut before was looser, but the one on the top is tighter, or vice versa. So the movement of how you're going to cut will be different. Here, I'm going to continue doing the C by helping my hand to follow the C like this. Still going to use the pinch technique no tension, to come all the way to the bottom, to remove a little bit more where the bleach lift in there. Make sure that your section is, and the way you cut is very clean. Always use the tip of the blade from our scissors, the curve, because it's fabulous. It's really going to give you a nice, perfect cut right there. Tools to me is everything, especially my shears. Make sure any little detail that you need to do at a 90 degree. You guys could see how the elevation starts going up. If you need to remove, shears are coming down, creating a curve, creating a reverse C. Perfect, now we're going to come up here. As we're going up, you guys could see it's happening, the volume is happening in here, but there is gaps in between here. For here, I'm going to start again with the C, but the C now is coming from the top. You guys see how the curve is helping me to come with the C from the top, coming down, doing the C,